Hey, it's great to see you again. Come on in. All right. Welcome back. So, let's do a little recap. So, the reason that you decided to start seeing me is because you often feel anxious, sad, and bad about your body. Is that right? Right. I really do appreciate you answering so many questions for me. I know it's been a while since you first started seeing me, and I'm sure all these issues are really difficult for you to deal with every day. And I'm really looking forward to working on these problems with you. Treatment can be a long process, but the good news is we've finally completed the first step. Yay! All right, that first step is diagnosis. I want to talk about diagnosis. Okay? All right, so a lot of people have differing reactions to diagnosis. Some are confused and they're afraid of what's going to happen next. Whereas other people might be happy and really relieved to have an answer to all these problems that have been bothering them. It's kind of like, so I'm not crazy, you know? You might feel either of those. You might feel both. You could feel something else, anything really. But no matter what you're feeling, it's going to be okay. Okay? All right. We're going to get through this together. Are you ready? Okay. All right. So, based on your answers on all of those questionnaires, plus the things that you've shared with me during our sessions, I believe that you have persistent depression and body dysmorphia. Are you familiar with those? Good. Okay. Can you tell me some of the stuff you know about them? Great. Sounds like you already know some stuff about these disorders. Today, we're going to talk about what those are and what's going to happen next. Which one would you like to start with? Body dysmorphic disorder? Okay, body dysmorphia. All right, so body dysmorphic disorder, or BDD for short, is mainly about thinking that there's something wrong with your body. People with body dysmorphia tend to really stress out and become upset about parts of their body that to other people seem to have very little wrong with them or even nothing wrong with them at all. But they don't see it that way. They'll become so upset and worried that they'll spend a bunch of time checking themselves in the mirror or with their phones, spending time and money even trying to fix the problem, comparing themselves to others to see if they're normal or not, asking for reassurance about the anxiety that the negative feelings about their body gives them. And they'll do this to the point that all of those negative emotions build up, and all this time spent on looking at their appearance starts to become a problem. When you told me about how you think that your face and your arms and your stomach are, in your words, ugly, and about how you check yourself in the mirror, and when I saw you become really upset when you were telling me about how you feel about your body, I thought she might have body dysmorphic disorder. What do you think? Okay. So these symptoms sound familiar? Do you think there's something that you go through, or maybe it's a little different? Now remember, it's possible for me to be wrong, and if you think I'm wrong, you should definitely tell me. Okay? Okay. So, what does being diagnosed with BDD mean for you? Well, BDD is a chronic condition, which is to say it lasts for a really long time, and it can be hard to make go away. But that's not to say that it's impossible. You don't have to do all of these, but the more of these different treatment methods that you do, the better chance that you'll have at alleviating your symptoms. BDD is treated by going to therapy and learning more about it, just like how we're doing now, going to support groups, learning new techniques to be more aware and relaxed, and taking a type of medication called an SSRI. It's a type of antidepressant. SSRIs are actually also used to treat your other diagnoses. Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right, so the other diagnosis is persistent depressive disorder. or PDD for short. It's basically like depression, but it lasts a really long time. People with persistent depression have felt sad for most of the time for at least 2 years, usually more. And during those years, the sadness never really went away for more than like a month. And a lot of them, because they are so sad, they struggle with a lot of different problems and symptoms that are really troublesome for them. Like eating too much or too little, sleeping too much or too little, feeling tired all the time, feeling really bad about themselves, having trouble concentrating, and feeling like things are never going to get better, or that nothing good is ever going to happen. They're hopeless, in a word. When you told me that you felt depressed for as long as you can remember, persistent depressive disorder immediately came to my mind. What do you think? All right. Do these symptoms sound like you? All right. Okay. Not every single symptom is going to match every single person exactly. People tend to have different combinations of the symptoms. So it's okay if you don't relate to everything that I just told you. It mostly is the big points that matter the most, like being sad for a really, really long time and the sadness not going away, and having troublesome symptoms. Okay. All right, so what does being diagnosed with persistent depressive disorder mean for you? Okay. So PDD is yet another chronic condition. It's even in the name. But fortunately, and a little bit ironically, it's actually easier to alleviate the symptoms of PDD than BDD. I know, right? And the treatment's really similar as well. Typically, you go to therapy, you learn more about PDD. We're going to work on learning some new coping techniques in our upcoming sessions. And you might decide that you want to try medication. Of course, that's your choice. There are lots of treatment options available to you, and you're definitely not the first person to receive these diagnoses, and you're not going to be the last either. Lots of people struggle with similar symptoms. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you're not alone. Recovery is possible. It's difficult, but it is possible. It's going to take a lot of work. Are you ready? All right. That was a lot. You have any questions for me so far? What do you think? All right. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so for next session, I would like you to go online and look at some articles about BDD and PDD. If they're like from a government website, that's the best. And just learn some more about the symptoms and, see if you find yourself identifying with them. And if you think, no, that's definitely not me, let me know. There might be something that I don't know about that, maybe I just got it wrong. Really, it's us working together. Okay? All right. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.